Welcome to Dr. Jester Rants, and I'm gonna rant about another very retarded bull fucking shit. From PC Gamer, Gearbox exec warns that anti-trans laws in Texas could prompt it to expand elsewhere. Well, what else? It's also written by the SJW-in-chief in PC Gamer, but still, let's go on. Don't drive us where we have to start expanding outside of Texas. Well, why don't you expand to California? I hear the taxes in there are absolutely amazing for businesses. I mean, they tax you up to the poverty level, but still, it's amazing, isn't it? Why don't you just put where you put actions on your words and go and do that? Coffee. Everything tastes better with coffee. David Najab, the director of Najab, the director of institutional partnerships at Borderlands 3 developer Gearbox Software. Yeah, considering how bad Borderlands 3 is, you kind of suck at your job. Has warned that the company could consider a move out of Texas if the state continues to pursue legislation targeting trans people. Well, let me put it this way. You don't believe in that women have their own rights. That is telling me that you believe that men are better than women and men should be where women in woman-only spaces. Don't you think that's a bit misogynistic and sexist on your part, Mr. David Najab or Gearbox by itself? As far as I can see and see here is that you're a bit of misogynistic. Because let's face it, the moment you start advocating that men should belong on women's sports or competing against women in sports, you're a bit run into a problem. Because, as you know, men are inherently better than women in physical contest. In physical contest. Men are just that. We have bigger bones, we are taller, we have stronger bones as well, we have way more muscle, we process more oxygen than they do, so there you go. When you consume more oxygen, when you oxygenate more your muscles, you have a physical advantage over those that do not, essentially women in this case. We also have way more muscle attachments where women do not have, like I've been saying in all my videos where I address this type of subject. But if you are not familiar with it, there is a very clear difference. For instance, on our skulls, including racial differences, but that's a video for another day, which there's no need. Anyway, move on. I digress. Let's focus here on the thing. On here, if you ignore my bad beard day, that means I have to shave today. You can see here, I don't know if it's visible in the camera, but there should be a curve right around here. Yeah, that's the thought, yeah? Yeah, that's usually a hook in our jaws that's present only on males. There's also another hook right behind your skull, right around here. In which it's used for muscle attachments. Back in the days when we were nomads, when we were just a fledgling species, when mankind was just a tiny little fart in the wind on this glorious goddamn fucking planet, men were hunters and women were more gatherers. That's why women are absolutely miles better than men at socializing, at social interactivity and other things like that. This is why there's a very higher chance that a man is colorblind in comparison to women. Yes, because women depend more on sorting out colors of fruits and other things like that. What is ripe, what is not, what is rotten, what will give you diarrhea, than men. Doesn't necessarily need to have multiple colors or things like that. That's why color blindness is more prevalent on males. Like I said, prevalent doesn't mean there isn't an exception or things like that. And that's why women end up being better at socializing and better at certain things, and men are better than other things. So when the weakness of one compares with the strength of the other, they complete each other and forms. That's why. Sorry. It's dry again, and my respiratory system is it's diversity higher. Considering it's a diversity higher, that means it decides to do the BLM thing and start to go around rampaging and be destructive. God damn it. I hate the HR department who made me hire this respiratory drug system. It's so dry, my nose is calling quits. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah. And that's why men are usually hunters. When hunting, you are necessary to have a very strong or a better body to endure the long-running sessions. And we are mostly exhaustion type of hunters, as in we make the animal hunt to exhaustion. Run to exhaustion. We are not fast. We are not fast enough. We can run, but our advantage is that we can cool down our body with sweat. Meanwhile, the other animal will need to stop, open their mouth to cool down. They need to. That's why dogs are like that. They are faster. They can sprint. They are sprint runners. That's why they can do that. But they cannot run in a very prolonged time period. If you have, that's why marathon triathlons and things like that exist. But once again, we are definitely hunters. That's why. Another advantage, like I said, of the muscles connecting our skulls is that we can use our mouth as a third hand. And that was very convenient when you were running after your prey and the prey started to get tired and you can't run, so you throw your spear while holding something on your hand or holding something else in your mouth, or when you are climbing a tree or something like that. It's still prevalent today. So that's why you cannot put men on female sports. That's why there is a very big difference between Olympics, female Olympics, and male Olympics. That's why there's a difference. You cannot put male and female. If you put the male and female, a female will almost never win. Are you absolutely retarded that you need to mix male? Imagine putting out Phelps swimming with the best female swimmer in America ever in the world against Phelps. She has no chance of winning. Now, if you put a male swimmer, second best swimmer in the world, against Phelps, well, you still have a very high chance of winning against Phelps. Obviously, Phelps is good. It's better than many other things, but the chances of winning against him, it just shoots up exponentially. What in this sort of retarded world do you think it's a good idea to put men and women doing the same, competing against each other in sports? You're pretty much going to cause a problem, like the US soccer team. Obviously, it was like a scrimmage, but still, they were competing against each other. Nothing official, obviously, because no competition like that exists. They were just competing against each other, and they were playing against 15-year-old boys, 15, 14-year-olds, and they still managed to win against the US soccer team. That's why you don't. Anyway, as reported by as reported by NBCDFW, Jesus Christ, what a mouthful. Gearbox joined other companies, including the woke Amazon, Dell, HP, IBM, Microsoft, and PayPal. Remember, once you're a part of the... let me put it this way. Once the major big corporations are on your side, you stop being the resistance. Let me put it that way. Quote, a resurgence of efforts to exclude transgender youth from full participation in their communities and to criminalize or ban best practice medical care that's proven to save lives. Or to exclude alphabet C people in a variety of other settings, including accessing healthcare following by prescription or seeking legal representation. Many of these things here are absolutely goddamn fucking false. The entire bill is to stop transgender women to participate in female sports. Trans women participating in female sports. That's the main reason the bill exists. There's also the aspect that I'm not going to address because it's not part of the discussion, in which there's a lot of issues in regards to below or pre-teens, or even starting your adolescence, in which they subject you to hormonal blockers. This is not a good idea. We still don't have studies saying that about the safety and things like that. This is absolutely and utterly dangerous, but this is not the discussion for this video. Anyway, here's the bill. The letter was written in response to last week's passage of Texas Senate Bill 29, First Sports for Women and Girls Act. See? That's all that there is to it! Jesus fucking Christ! These people are absolutely insane! Let's see what it says here. Before I dox myself, let's see if everything is fine. It looks good. Let's see, relating to schools. Here, relating to requiring public school students to compete in interscholastic athletic competitions based on biological sex. So, basically, in summary, it doesn't say anything like what it says here. Let me just highlight here what these imbeciles are trying to attack. Let's say, right, research and efforts transgender you participating in their communities, doesn't say like that. Best practice in Medicare doesn't say like say any of those things in the bill, or to exclude peer variable other settings, including assessing healthcare, filing prescriptions, seeking representations. None of those things are present in the bill. Why are you saying or standing against any of those things? There's nothing like that in there. Holy shit, people, seriously, why are you trying to... Well, I'm sorry, this is part of the Blue Anon conspiracy rhetorical bullshit. Anyway, a letter was written in response to last week's Texas bill, already read that. In testimony before Texas House of Representative Najab said, bills like S-29 are bad for the state that could force companies like Gearbox. Of course, they are all about... social justice, not about making money or crappy games. And how are you going to be? How are your transgender employees are going to be affected while working on Gearbox? You're not a sports team. You're not a school trying to block trans women participating in female sports, or beating and breaking the girls' skulls like Fallon, a certain Fallon. Yes, a certain trans woman managed to break multiple girls' skulls while competing against them in a fight. But details, tiny little pesky details. Anyway, which was founded in 1999 and based in Frisco, Texas, to look elsewhere for future opportunities. Nobody's going to miss you, Gearbox. Let me put it this way: you managed to not only steal money from a certain Alien games to invest on a certain Borderlands 2 game. That's something I didn't know back in the day. And released a very buggy fest of an Aliens game that it became kind of a meme back in the day. But no, or not that, or that you managed to screw up on Duke Nukem Forever, but purveyors of crappy games. Oh, there was the ultra woke game that kind of failed. I even forgot the name of the crappy game that Gearbox made. Holy shit, myself. Holy crap, I think it means one thing, and it means one thing, you peasants. It means I gotta go and use Wiki-fucking-pedia to actually go and check. I hate Wikipedia asking for donations. Like, okay, let's see. Any doxing, new. Time to go check it out. What was the game? What was the crappy game that I even forgot the name? Battleborn! There you go! This thing went out with a wimp. It went so woke. It went so... here it is. The alien games I was talking about. Aliens, Colonial Marines, which was an absolute shit fest. Battleborn. What a massive waste of fucking money. It was so... There you go. Whew, that was close. Thank goodness you didn't bitch again about donations. I wonder if there's an extension for blocking filthy donations from Wikipedia. You don't deserve it, Wikipedia. You stop being a unbiased source to a very biased source. But either way, let's go. Our games company is in competition worldwide. We export more than we sell more to Asia than we do United States. Well, maybe you should stop making woke games, because China definitely doesn't like wokeness. We can actually see that on the Disney posters about Star Wars, in which they ended up censoring Black Panther or massively downscaling the one of the characters for Star Wars. What was it? What was his name? No. I forgot. It was one of those crappy Star Wars movies that I don't even care about anymore. Even despite me being a Star Wars fan, I decided to call the Disney trilogy a massive shit show. Anyway, let's go. Money to this... Oh, yeah, right, here. We bring a lot of money into this state, and we're headquartered here, he said. Don't drive us where we have to start expanding outside of Texas and outside the country. So you're looking for an excuse to expand on China. Is that what you're trying to tell us? The job has compared the legislation to bathroom bill. That's not even close to it. But sure, let's throw money. What these people have, what is it with the control left and their need to straw man everything? Like that certain, protest near riot that happened at the beginning of this year, which I cannot mention, or what happened in, let's move on. You people are absolute disastrous. Anyway, several years ago, that would have required trans people to use the bathrooms in schools and governments based on sex assigned to them at birth. Make no mistake. Make no mistake about it. Me and risking a return to the bathroom bill days of 2017. He told NBCDFW. Just like the bathroom bill, we are presented with a solution that are looking for problems. Aren't you looking for problems where there isn't one? Anyway, Gearbox declined to comment further on the likelihood of a move outside of the state, but it wouldn't be unprecedented. Earlier this month, Major League Baseball moved to the 2021 All-Star Game out of Atlanta, Georgia, in response to laws imposing new restrictions on voters in the state. And let me put it this way, the rules and regulations on Georgia doesn't even come close to the rules and regulations that the own shithole of a county that I'm currently stuck at has in regards to votes. And nobody has had even a single tiny little problem in getting voter ID in this goddamn filthy shithole. Why is that such a problem? And you, Andy Chalk? You filthy fucking bastard. Remember, don't go and bother this guy. He is an absolute SJW. That means that even that tiny little criticism that he reads, even one thing that goes against him, is considered harassment or even a death threat. So please stay away. Anyway, even even the UK has more restrictive voting regulations than the US. And you somehow still have a certain problem about it? Well, even more so, this is quite interesting. Major League Baseball moved to Colorado, which still has a more restrictive voting regulations than in Georgia. Interesting. Doesn't the Major League Baseball have trainings in Florida, which also has more regulations than in Georgia? Oh, hypocrisy. They just want to just virtual signal. Look, I'm doing something amazing. Please, look at me. Look at me. Look at me doing some virtual signaling. That's what all there is to it. But if we go and check the comment sections, here it is. Discussions has been closed because they do not want anything going against their perceived nonsensical bullshit. Because, as you all know, you can't have people disagreeing with you. Or a very shitty written article about it. Or a very shitty company trying to look woke and trying to get virtual signaling points so they don't get cancelled. Or they try to or their next Battleborn game doesn't get woke and going broke. Because it went very, very woke. Not only was it generic, but it went woke and it went broke. Anyway, if you like this type of content, stay right here. Or if you want more spicy and exclusive content, head to bitchute.com/Jester, romance.com/Jester. They all have a very different type of thumbnail if that content is exclusive. Yeah, check it out. Anyway, thank you for watching. Have a very good fucking night.